Okay, before I get started, I just wanted to find out how many of you guys right now are buying pay-per-click advertising somewhere, some engine. Okay. Anybody having any problems with click-through? Okay. Not sure? All right. All right, well, we'll start off a little bit with just to give you some basics of who I am, why I've been doing a lot of stuff on fraud within our company. And just to start off right off the bat, I'm not a public speaker. I'm more just an entrepreneur who cares about customer quality and focuses on our company. But we were asked to speak about a subject that I enjoy talking about, so we figured we'd come out and talk about it a little bit. As far as internet companies go, eZanga is my third multi-million-dollar company that I've built by bootstrapping. So I've got a good understanding of how to get a company up and running and started and how to market on the internet. I've been doing marketing since 1993, so the area of marketing, whether it's email marketing, banners, pops, search, I've been around it, seen it all. So I've done quite a bit on that. Some of the other things that I've done, I've always had a love for programming, so I've always gotten involved in a lot of programming projects. I had my first program published when I was 12. My latest programming feat was basically the traffic advisor system that we use at eZanga to eliminate click fraud on the fly. It took us about 2 years to design the whole thing and about $2 million in campaign budgets of our own in order to make sure that the algorithms that we were using to eliminate click fraud actually worked well. In addition to being a serial entrepreneur, I've also worked for some major companies including Verizon and Google. Outside of that, I want to first understand and get out what we believe click fraud is. There's a lot of companies out there that talk about click fraud. There's a lot of good definitions out there. But I wanted to come up with a definition that really hits that nail on the head for what click fraud really is. We looked around and we found a couple of different examples of what people define click fraud is. And for instance, we found one from Click Forensics. They defined click fraud in the last article that I read from them as the practice of clicking on a pay-per-click ad without any intention of the buyer or buying the advertiser's product or any other desired action, which is a great start for understanding what click fraud is all about. I wanted to be just a little bit more specific for the example that we're talking about today, so I've changed it slightly just to go into that click fraud is really the practice of clicking on ads for the sole purpose of earning money directly or causing harm to another company's ad campaign. So just when we're talking about click fraud, that's kind of the area that I want to focus on. And the first thing to understanding on how to really get rid of click fraud as best you can from your network is understanding who commits click fraud. And a couple of things that I want to start out with is just from all the years that I've spent on the internet, 15 years on the internet, we come up with two truths on the internet. One is that people just don't read, so if you put stuff on your site, they're kind of scanning your site, they're really not reading everything that you're putting out there. So you might have some really well thought out information on your site, realize that they're going to scan over what you have out there on your site. So that doesn't pertain too much here, but it's still something that's interesting that when you start looking at things, how it works. But typically the biggest problem with click fraud is whenever you pay somebody on the internet to do something, the cheaters are going to come out of the woodwork. So as long as publishers such as eZanga, Google, Yahoo pay other publishers, as long as search engines pay publishers to send traffic into the networks, fraud is going to be a problem somewhere along the line. Okay. Going back to the original question is why do people commit click fraud? Well, the average person is really just looking to make some extra income, especially in the markets where things are turning down and people are looking for other opportunities to make money. They're going to find different ways of generating income, in order to support the bills. Some of the more advanced stuff, some of the stuff that I look at more closely is more the tech-savvy programmers who find it challenges to bypass anything that we can put out there to prevent them from getting access to our customers without actually sending real traffic to our customers. So this is something that is really important to look at. And one other area that I've seen click fraud in, I don't think it's a major issue, but I've been hearing a lot of people talking about it, and it's companies that want to try to knock down their competition by just sending their employees to click on it or hiring someone to click on different ads in order to drop their budgets down. I didn't think this was a major problem, but I think I know it's out there, so I just wanted you guys to be aware of what we saw. I didn't do anything. All right.
Sorry.
All right, wasn't me. All right, basically the next thing is understanding how the click fraud is actually committed against the campaigns. And the first thing is looking at the three different areas that we just looked at before. And the average person can do this in a number of different ways. And the biggest way and one of the harder ways to detect is when they join these pay-to-read sites. these pay-to-read sites basically become a distributed click farm. And all they're doing is getting paid to click on links. And for the average user, it's something that they can sign up an account for, they can follow the directions, and they can earn a few extra dollars. But at the end of the day, they're really cheating the advertiser because they're clicking on ads, going back to the original definition, with no intent to buy anything, but with the intent to basically make money. The next area is I've seen a bunch of people doing something very simple where they build up a blog site, have their friends go over there and click on links, and at the end of the day, if they're using a Google AdSense or some other technology to put ads on their page, they're going to find out they're just trying to generate a few extra dollars. Enough people click on those ads, it's going to generate some money for the person that's doing it. By the same token, it's going to just basically, it's click fraud of another kind. Now, the more interesting one are the tech-savvy individuals that can design software to mimic real people. These are the ones that you guys don't easily see. But the biggest thing about these individuals is that they can design stuff that even the most advanced people that are looking for click fraud have a hard time identifying. Spyware is the biggest way they get it out. They'll get a piece of software on somebody's machine that basically takes control of their machine, takes control of their IP, so it looks like a unique person is actually visiting your site or your ad, but it's really just something that's going on as a background task that's taking place on that computer. I'll give you an example of something we found probably about 8 months ago. It was probably one of the most advanced frauds that I've seen in a long time. Somebody designed a way to launch a 1x1 pixel underneath your mouse pointer. So what happened is as you started moving your mouse around the site and locating different things on the site that you were looking at, it would mimic that site on their customer's site directly. What happens when you made the click, they were able to shift the page to the area of the page that they wanted you to click on, force you to click on that link, and then click on the link that you're actually as a user clicking on. So the end user has no idea that fraud is taking place on their site, except if everything looks normal from what they see, but what's happening in the background is that somebody's getting click fraud against because there's no conversion on the back end. So it's something that we found that was really tricky and difficult to isolate initially. Once you find it, then you basically write rules in order to govern it and eliminate that from your traffic sources. Clickbots are another thing. I'm starting to see less and less of these, more and more of the spyware attacks from the stuff that we're looking at. Clickbots typically used to take advantage of proxy servers, compromised types of machines that are out there, and other types of sneaky software. There's something that we look at on a regular basis for that because there's something of concern because when something happens and there's a clickbot that's running out there, it is looking very similar to what people are using random generators to isolate the time the search takes place and the time the click takes place, so it looks and feels like a real person performing that initial click, but at the end of the day it's not really, obviously it's just a clickbot, it's something that we want to eliminate.